Hi, I'm Lieutenant Colonel Barrett Bernard. I'm the Director of Training for U.S. Army Pacific. We suffer what we affectionately call the tyranny of distance out here in USARPAC. Our area of operations spans some 8 time zones, so there is no centrally located training area that facilitates training for all of the forces that are assigned to United States Army Pacific. We are geographically dispersed in order to have soldiers available to the various regions within the Pacific, and because of that we have a challenge assembling large-scale formations to conduct training. You can compare and contrast that, if you would, to what they have in Europe. In one central location, all of the units assigned to Europe can go to that centrally located training area to conduct their training. There just simply is not an area to do that out here in the vast expanse of the Pacific, which is why we have created the Pacific Training Complex, because we think that this is the best approach to addressing that challenge. And really it's broken up into 4 regional training centers. So the first regional training center is out at Joint Base Lewis McChord. All of the training lands and ranges that are on that installation, as well as the Yakima Training Center, which is a satellite training center located in the vicinity of Joint Base Lewis McChord out at Washington State on the continental United States. The second regional training center in the Pacific Training Complex is U.S. Army Alaska, specifically Fort Wainwright, Alaska, and then the Donnelly Training Area would be a satellite training area that supports major unit collective training for everybody stationed in Alaska. Out here in Hawaii, you have obviously U.S. Army Hawaii Schofield Barracks would be the primary installation, and then they have a regional or a satellite training center out at Pohakaloa on the Big Island of Hawaii. And then obviously in Korea, for U.S. Forces Korea, and they conduct the bulk of their training at the Rodriguez Live Fire Complex and the Story Live Fire Complex, 2 smaller satellite training areas that are located right there on the peninsula. Those 4 regionally based training complexes comprise the Pacific Training Complex.
Hello, I'm Major General Charlie Flynn. I'm the commander of the 25th Infantry Division, stationed at Schofield Barracks and Wheeler Army Airfield in the wonderful location of Wahiawa, Hawaii. We have 3 major training areas in Hawaii. The first is the East, South, and Kahuku Range Complex, what I refer to as Oahu North. Then on the west coast, on the other side of the Waianae Mountains, we have the Makua training area, and then on the Big Island of Hawaii is the Pohakaloa training area. Those are the 3 major training areas for ground forces stationed in Hawaii. The Pohakaloa training area is our largest training area, consisting of about 140,000 acres. It has the largest impact area, and it has the largest maneuver space. So the Pohakaloa training area is where we essentially can get our combined arms maneuver and collective training done at the brigade level. The combination of the training areas here on Oahu, from our South Range Complex, which includes our impact area, East Range Complex, which includes our Jungle Operations Training Center, all the way out to the Kahukus on the North Shore, provides a very unique capability because of its environment, because of the jungle terrain, the mountainous terrain, and the difficulty with which forces in the Pacific need to be able to operate. At the Pohakaloa training area on the island of Hawaii, that is at about 5,000 feet above sea level, and that terrain is rather different than the terrain you have here on the island of Oahu. So those unique capabilities give our soldiers and our leaders a challenge operating over the 8 islands across the state of Hawaii, and the maritime environment and the different conditions that exist on both the Big Island and on the island of Oahu.
All right, aloha. I'm Lieutenant Colonel Jake Peterson, commander at Pakaloa Training Area. Pakaloa Training Area is located in the Saddle region right between Mauna Kea and Mauna Loa. We're 134,000 acres large and about the size of the island of Guam. We are the largest training area west of Alaska. Annually, we have around 12,000 personnel trained at Pakaloa Training Area, and that is a combined effort between all the services Army, Navy, Air Force, and Marine. The preponderance are the ground forces, both Army and Marine forces. Well, the training capabilities at PTA are the combined arms maneuver. So most of the training capabilities for units that are based on Oahu are limited to individual training. So when they come to PTA, all their individual training is pretty much done, and their combined training is conducted at PTA. So combined arms maneuver at the platoon and company level. And when I say combined arms maneuver at the platoon level, I'm talking about around 30 personnel and bringing all the effects of combined arms to include field artillery, close air support, helicopter support, and all the other elements of Army combat power. PTA is truly a joint training area, not only a joint training area, but also a lot of the federal agencies and the local law enforcement agencies on the island come and train there. I also have an agreement with both the sheriff's office on the island and the state parks. There's absolutely nowhere to shoot and qualify your individual weapons, so I allow these elements to come on to PTA and train, shoot their weapons, and be proficient in order to do their jobs. One thing that we do that is often overlooked is I have a mutual aid agreement signed by myself and the mayor of Hawaii Island. So for a 40-mile stretch on the Saddle Road, if anyone dials 911, they get PTA emergency services to come help them.
Yeah, these training areas are incredibly important to the 25th Infantry Division, but moreover to all Army-based forces here, Marines, and to the Hawaii Army National Guard. The training areas that we are the good stewards and caretakers for in the Army are essentially the training areas where all those forces are able to do all of their combined arms maneuver, their live fires, their force on force. It also includes our mission training complex, which can then bring the live, virtual, and constructive wraparound to the training environment here in Hawaii. The combination of the Pohakaloa training area and the training areas on Oahu plus the mission training complex actually give us a very realistic environment for our forces to have to train in because of the conditions that exist across the 8 islands with which our soldiers have to then learn to operate in here in Hawaii, and then we can transfer much of those experiences to the environment where we could be operating here in the Pacific Theater.